Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Jonathan here. I want to just quickly talk about the channel and kind of what's going on, maybe what's going to happen here throughout at least the next few months. First thing, why I've not been doing a lot of stuff on this channel. One, I have a job. Two, um, the job requires me to work Sundays, though. Granted, the Cup Series, most of the races start late enough to where I'm home before the green flag starts, so that's not really an issue. Actually, besides this weekend, uh, start at 2 Eastern, so I go my 3. It does change the way I could review the races if I wanted to. Um, this channel is not going to be like a channel that's constant. Really, I just can't because one, the problem is if like news breaks out on days that I'm working, I can't exactly do anything until I get home, which for the most part, if it's like a Tuesday, I won't get home until past 7 o'clock. So time I have supper and things like that, it's 9, 8, 9 o'clock. You know, by then the news has been way out by other social medias people, and who cares, right? So, um, it's kind of hard to do that stuff and be on top of it, but that doesn't mean I don't want to try to do certain things for the sport and just kind of give my thoughts about certain things and, you know, talk about, a lot of things that's happened with sport now. Chase coming back and now talking about the Super Spirit package and trying to hopefully change that. Have preseason Thunder back for at least a year. A lot of people say, and it makes me laugh a little bit when they say it, that, oh, the preseason Thunder's back. And I go, well, yeah, probably a year. They're just doing this so they can test the cars out, get a new air package. Once they figure it out, they're done. They're not going to bring it back. That's a waste of money, right? They're just going to say it's a waste of money. As much as they would like to have some kind of thing to push the season opening, in January, there's just no financial reasons to be down there unless there is something to test with the car. If NASCAR says, "Hey, we're gonna want to change something with the car," sure, then they're gonna have everyone come down, do a whole aero kind of practice run test, and be done with it. But it's just no reason for 36 teams to come down there, practice, change about 20 things, and still come back with the same thing they probably were going to run the year before because nothing really changes. So that's kind of like you're just wasting money. Much as I would love to see that happen every year, there's just no financial reason, really big reasons, to go down there. Because every time you go down there, I hate to say this, but you've done speed week or days, they have 1 hour practice session. What do they usually do? Get in their little groups of manufacturers or teams. You're not learning anything that way. You're not learning anything that way. Besides maybe, okay, the car looks a little bit better here versus there, but that's pretty much it. There's not much you can do to the cars that is going to change direction of what that car is going to do by Daytona 500 day. Right? It's just not going to change too much. Sometimes teams go out there, just do single car runs just to see if they can get more speed out without technically hurting the handling. A lot of and of course they allowed them to have practice before qualifying, right? Because they were like, hey, we need at least one practice, just kind of shake down the car. Well, they did that, and guess what they did? They got in single car runs. You do a couple laps, yeah, car's fine, park it. What'd you learn? Like, what did you learn? Nothing. You didn't try to learn anything. So, and of course, NASCAR doesn't necessarily allow them to really open up the setups. They can do a few things with the subs they have, changing clickers on the shocks or struts or whatever they call them now. They do minor things, but they can't do big things, big changes. So it really doesn't change anything going down there. But That being said, it is good that they're going to try to change the air package in Daytona. So that's stuff I want to talk about when new things come out. Of course, we're trying to work on the short track package. It's still a long ways to go. Good that they up the horsepower, but still probably need just a little more. This car needs our fundamental change. It's not just changing downforce, changing the horsepower. This car needs a rework. It has got too much grip for what it's supposed to should have been. They relied so much on downforce count in this car that mechanical grip means nothing. The only mechanical grip that really is mattering right now is the tire because the tire's wider. It allows more contact patch to the racetrack. It's just it's just besides the mile and a half, car's a mess, right? It is, and frankly, they to be 100% honest with everyone, they pushed this car out too. I think everyone kind of understands that. I think everyone realizes maybe not besides NASCAR, though maybe they I want to say this, they know they pushed out too soon, but they won't admit it. Oh, that sort of thing. But I just I know the car needs a lot of work. That's a lot of stuff I want to talk about going down the road is figure kind of talk about where NASCAR is going to head with this car. Wait, debuted in 2022, so if we do this in a thing every 10 years, we're still waiting to like 2032 before we get in the car. I and I don't think it's even going to be a car. I think they may change a lot of how the underbody is. I think change a lot about how car maybe races. I just don't know if they're going to fundamentally change a whole car. Like they're going to just scrap this car and go to a whole new chassis again. That was, I mean, teams already said this car has cost them way too much money, and they thought it was supposed to save them, and in reality, maybe it saved them a little bit, but in the long run, it's really not going to. So, I just a lot of things I want to talk about with that. Where NASCAR's heading with the car, where tracks schedules potentially could change. Oh, we're kind of getting limited on where races are going to go. Obviously, California, that's pretty much a wash. I don't think we're ever going to go back to California in that sense. Comes to Fontana racing there. Frankly, they need to just sell that rest of that land and find some other spot to racetrack if they want to. I doubt they're even going to want to build it. Of course, with there's the issues with the Nashville Fairgrounds and a bunch of Karens that want the track torn apart. You got a lot of political problems there, but hopefully maybe something will change there. Of course, that's a more of an SMI track or SMI problem, the NASCAR problem, really. So, as for new events and things I would like to see going forward, try and get back to the traditional short track value, but obviously the car needs to be fixed first. So, I hate to say this, but until that happens, don't need to be seeing more. It sucks because I don't blame the track, I blame the car, but the track's gonna get the worst end of it. I would love them to come back to rocking. Now the track, the track itself needs a lot of work still. Not the track, but that's been repaved, but the facility around it, grandstands and stuff, it's great shapes, okay shape, but not great. That needs to be put to refurbished and get all refreshed and all that stuff. But besides that, really there's a lot of tracks that short track wise, like Truck Series and Rally Series, potentially could go, but obviously they need a lot of money put into the racetrack to host anything like that. I know a lot of people still talk about international races. Now, when I heard they were going to try to do Mexico for 1 year or well, last year, they I was hesitant because of Mexico. Right, I'm going to be completely honest that they were hesitant going down there because the last time they did go down there, well, not Cup Series, but at the time I think Nationwide Series, they were very. They told them do not go out unless you have someone that knows the area. Bad things can happen. I guess that kind of stuck in my mind even now. But everything went fine. The race was, well, I'll say this: the race was decent. SVG was SVG and kicked everyone's ass. But besides that, I'm not opposed to international racing, or at least going across the borders, right? Canada or Mexico. I still feel like the Canadian Motorsports Park race when the Truck Series was up there. I think that would probably be a good race for the Cup race. Rarely if they want to go up there. I know a lot of people want to go back to Montreal. I guess I wouldn't mind that either. But either or, obviously they're going to be road courses, right? And road courses are not the greatest. I know there are, I guess, some short tracks. I guess there's a short track in Mexico somewhere. I don't know how the facility would hold up to a Cup race. I'm not sure if any ovals up in Canada. I'm assuming there's probably a few, but I don't know if they can hold a Cup event either. But I'm still want to talk about all that throughout the season. News that I can get to you, timely manner, especially mostly on my days off. How is it gonna work? I don't know how this channel is gonna be. So I might do a video and then all of a sudden disappear for a couple weeks. And something might catch my eye, my attention, and I have time to do video of it. I'll do it. Can't promise you that it's gonna be every week. Promise you every day or every week or something like that. Something does happen and want to talk about it, I'll do that. So yeah, that's kind of where this channel is gonna be. Racing, scheduling, drivers eventually, like Kyle Busch or Kyle Busch. Uh, I do feel bad for Kyle Busch. I'll say that right now. Some people hate Kyle Busch. They don't care, but um, really, I was no necessarily fan of Kyle Busch, but the way he went from being from champion to winning tons of races to now, if he's the only time he's mentioned is because he's wrecking, um, kind of sucks for a driver like him. Definitely turned into almost like Jimmy Johnson. So I don't feel like his career is going to end anytime soon. Believe me, I think he is definitely looking closer on retiring from Cup quicker than he probably wants to. Maybe we'll go to the lower series. He did say this on social media one time, I was months ago, that his plan was to stay in the Cup Series until his son was eligible to. I think once he turned 15, he was going to then go back down to the lower series. I think. I don't think he's going to do a rally, but he said he would do truck for 1 full year, and by the time he's 16, then he'll do part time until his son turned 18, and then he would then fully retire. That's what his plan is. Of course, Cup racing is not going the way he wants to, so he definitely struggling to find pace and just be relevant, just to be in the top 10, let alone win a race. So that's something he's trying to hopefully keep until that plan comes into that plan happens. But I don't know. It doesn't look bright for him right now. If he decides to leave RCR, well, who's gonna take him, right? If he can't figure out this car and people, he's got this, rightfully so. be angry issue going on. There's just there's no way someone wants to take on that kind of problems. Right? So we'll see how all that goes with Kyle Busch and down the road for more stuff in NASCAR. But anyways, thanks for watching. I know this was a little longer. I didn't want to make it too long, but I start talking. So, anyways, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and hopefully we have more NASCAR content come down the road, whenever that may be. Thanks for watching. See you for more NASCAR content.